Season 2, quote unquote, officially ended, or not really, and I want to rank the story, at least because I think it ended. Maybe it didn't end, but I think it ended. No, I don't know. So yeah, hey guys, it's me, Reset. You may also know me by many names, and this is my tier list of all the current story. We will all have very different opinions, so brutalize me if you must, but it's whatever. We'll talk it out with a very civil conversation, and no fists will be thrown, of course. Business X Justice X Strangeness prologue, I think it's pretty good. I don't think there's any like big complaints about the prologue that I can remember. For a prologue, I think it's really good. Get an introduction to the world and what we're dealing with here. I think it's just a bang boo. I think it's a bang boo. But Cat's Lost and Found. This is like the second half of it where Nekomata gets introduced. I think it was okay. I think this is a clang boo. It was nice seeing like the cunning hairs in Nekomata like help everyone in that hollow. Man, it was okay. Could it have been better? I don't know. I really don't know. I don't remember. Call from the Hollow's Heart. I think this is when we go to Belobog. Belobog was alright. Nothing too crazy about it. Definitely better than a Cat's Lost and Found, but Koleda's moment with like, I forgot the robot's name, like Gerald. I think it's the robot's name was Gerald. It was like, that was cool. At the end of the fight, we get introduced to sacrifices and all that. Belobog was definitely a nice place, but it's okay. Mission Unthinkable though, Bell almost gets ran over, and we get introduced to Zhu and Qingyi. I think this is the bottom of Klangbu. Not that Zhu and Qingyi are bad. It's such a blur. So long ago, and not that their introductions were bad. I think the introduction part of Zhu and Qingyi was fine. Just what happens is a little forgettable. Hence why I don't remember it at all. The first side story with Jane Doe. Honestly, this might be it. This is like above the prologue. I actually really like this story. The entire thing with Jane acting as an undercover, then Seth getting roped into it because he's too much of a good-hearted guy. So, and of course Jane and Seth have a really good dynamic. And that's about it. This is Victoria Housekeeping. I really like this because of what they did with the TV. If you remember, if anyone played during 1.0 TV event, you had to find the lights and you had to avoid the ghosts, and like you actually couldn't see in front of you besides like the two tiles in front of you. I really liked that. So I think this is an Orangbu for me personally because of like what I remember during TV mode. It was very fun. And the story itself isn't bad either. Like, obviously, Lycombe got that sick-ass shot with the moon. All of the characters were pretty nice. I hope we get more Victoria Housekeeping. Tori Inferno. Do I say more? Do I say more? Super boo immediately. The entire concept of going to the outer ring, seeing like a whole different side of New Eridu that's completely different from the city we knew, participating in this tradition that they have held throughout like the years. It was so fun too. Tori Inferno is so good. It is one of the Zenless's better stories, especially with, or well, all of the Sons of Kala. Maybe not Bernice. Whatever Bernice is about. Very nice characterization for Lucy and Caesar. A Storm of Falling Stars 1.4. Also a super boo. Now, this was the climax of season 1, obviously, and it was super duper good. I think it was filled with the most hype moments and aura in all of Zenless Zone Zero, while also being a fairly decent story. We didn't get much like exposition or like newer concepts of the future, or like the accumulation of season 1, right? That was this story, and it was just hype moments and aura after hype moments and aura. And there were some moments of like, oh shoot, and then hype moment and aura. It was really good. It was a really good story. I think Ji-Wen could have been done better in that story. You know, it's okay. It's okay. Hopefully we get a side story or like a agent story with Ji-Wen where we get to see like the effects of that, but instead we got, I don't know, nothing. Astronomical in itself is really good. It's like, where is Yanagi? Oh, Astra's story is good in itself, and I like that it was a side story that involved absolutely nothing. It was really the, like, after story of, after the climax of season 1, you're like, ugh, I'm exhausted. And you get the Astra story, and then it was a nice little break to see, to just have characterization of Wise and Bell. It was just a nice story. Had some pretty good moments, I'd say. It's definitely one of the more memorable ones because everyone really loved Evelyn and Astra's dynamic. It was a very nice duo partnership, whatever. It's just a nice story. Yeah, it's a nice, like, little break from all the stuff that's been going on during the story, and yeah, it was pretty nice. It was pretty nice. Yanagi, right? The Yanagi side story, it's better than Victoria Housekeeping, but not better than Astra, because it was actually a good story, because it actually made me like Yanagi, and it actually tied into the main story. Say, like, if you didn't play this, you wouldn't understand, like, how did they get access to Talus, or, like, the Cursed Sword. Now, oh my goodness. Bury Your Tears with the Past, Part 1, is so good. Oh my goodness, I absolutely love this story. You get to learn about Lycone and Hugo, and ooh, that was so peak. We already knew something was a little off with Hugo, but then as the story went on, you get to learn a little bit more of how it's like really going on with Lycone, Hugo, and all that. It was just super good. You get to meet Vivian, it was funny how she treated the proxy at first. As it went on and she found out the proxy was actually Phaethon, it was pretty funny. I will say the introduction is a little weaker to this story because what happens is we contact the mayor, Mayor Mayflower, and he's like, huh, I was actually friends with Carol Arna, and I'm gonna unlock your powers, basically. Like, nah, that was stupid. It's a cheap way. Okay, if I'm being honest, it was a cheap way to get Bell and Wise into the Hollows without using EOS, okay? I'm being honest. Learning about Hugo and Lycone, Mockingbird and a whole, his relationship to Mockingbird was so good. One of the highlights of, I think, season 1. Even if it's an epilogue, it's still one of the highlights of season 1. Now the second part, oh man. I want to like the second part, but oh my goodness. I can only remember how, like, not that it wasn't fun, it just felt so odd. It was fine, but I think it was just too long. Especially what they did to Hugo's character, which they absolutely gutted, like, the best part of his past, which is the fact that he killed his family. At least that's what I remember, but, like, they got rid of that. He didn't actually kill them. Some other guy did. I forgot his name. I don't care about him. I did like the part where, at the end, where it's like, he makes his grand entrance again and all that. What happened in this one is we break into, like, the Ravenlock, whatever. Like, we break into somewhere with Vivian. We cut to something else, and then we come back. And I'm like, where are we now? I may have poor reading comprehension or something, but I did not know what was happening in that story. It was okay. I think the part with Vivian is what makes it up here. I did like Vivian's part with at least, like, her and Phaethon, but whoever that person was, the red hair, that was just bullying her. I did like that it gave more about Phaethon's powers. We love to see more of Phaethon's powers. I wish I could like this part of the epilogue, but man, I can't bring myself to it. Season 2, we're into season 2 now, where clouds embrace the dawn. Oh my goodness. This is here because the first half of it, where we are really learning about Waifei Peninsula, Yunquay Summit, even the introduction with Monato and Porcelain Miners, right? Porcelain X, all of that, super interesting. Absolutely loved it. And then we said Exaltist once, and the entire plot just, like, got thrown out the window. I liked when the Exaltist was in the background of the story, and then the entire plot was just about the Exaltist, and I wish they were in the background more. And Jufufu said Exaltist, and the entire plot was about the Exaltist. And the entirety of before it, I was like, oh, okay. But I did like the cutscenes, and it was still a good story then. Hey, Spooky Shack. Ooh, we love Spooky Shack. We absolutely love Spooky Shack. Impending Crash of Waves. I love this story. I think this is a personal favorite of mine. The original trio of Spook Shack was so good. They were great, absolutely great characters and interactions and everything. Alice's character, and then getting introduced to Yuzuha and Minato. Alice got pranked, and then she tried to find out who did it, and then it led it to Mystic Wares, and then all of that happened. It was a nice story. I think the only like small issue I'd have with this story is how Ishwen sort of solved the problem with the Miasma Fiend. I can give that some leeway because that Miasma Fiend was her sister. I think their fight makes sense. Do not go gentle in that good night. Right here. Obel Squad is really good. But am I disappointed how they were handled? Yeah, I'm kind of disappointed. I was hyped about Obel Squad. I can't put in the Shuru because of how they absolutely gutted Soldier 11 in that story. And partially the rest of Obel Squad besides Magus and Orphe. Like, the rest of Obel Squad felt like background characters, while Orphe and Magus was really the main stage. More focused about Obel Squad as a whole instead of just Magus and Isolde and Orphe. But I do think what makes up for it is how good Isolde and Magus's sort of story is. Like, you could tell Isolde was probably gonna betray or do something. You didn't know what. That was how I saw it. So for her to reveal herself as a double agent for both sides of the Exaltist and Obel Squad, just to enact her revenge, was a pleasant surprise. Yeah, I think Isolde's character was really good. I think of all the villains we've got, I think Isolde is probably my favorite. Maybe behind Bringer. Very good story. I enjoyed that a lot. Memories of Dreams Bygone. It is at the bottom of Bang Boo only because of Minato. If it wasn't for Minato, if Minato was not in the story, it'd be like right here. I'm being dead ass. I did not like the story. I'm sorry, but the only reason it's right here is because of Minato. Minato is the only reason I like the story. Now, call me crazy, but I don't see the reason why this is a story. Like, I'm trying to recall why Sarah trapped Yidhari in that church at all. Like, yeah, she could see the past of old people. She could see the past of people who went into the Hollows and see what they talked about and all of that. That's so important. But like, I don't know what Sarah gained from that. At least, unless like I completely missed it. Like, unless I completely missed this part of the story, I do not know what Sarah was doing. It was interesting with Monato's and Lucia's, where it's like Lucia's drowned ideal was like she didn't actually have one. It was actually her father's. Minato was the only good part of that story, in my opinion. I think Yidhari was like, I couldn't find Yidhari interesting. I'm sorry. I couldn't bring myself to like this story. I hate it. I hate the fact that that's true. I can't bring myself to like this story. The only reason I liked it was because of how much depth it went into Monato's character. The rest of the plot itself was so, like, in my opinion, mediocre. I can't bring myself to like it. Is there anything wrong with liking it? Nah, it's completely fine to like it. It's just, I can't bring myself to like it. If it was up to me, it'd be down here, but only because of Minato is up here. On the Precipice of Abyss, I liked this story, but man, they really shafted Dialin and Banyue's character in this one. I feel bad for Banyue and Dialin. They focused too much on Shunguang in this story to the point where Dialin and Banyue felt sidelined. It was an okay story. The entire Exaltus thing with Shi Yuan was interesting because that's Shi Yuan, probably the best character of season 2, by the way. The problem of Banyue and Dialin getting shafted could have been solved if Shunguang was introduced earlier. Anywhere in the early patches, if she got introduced and we got to actually spend time with Shunguang, it would have been better. But what happened was we spent the entire story learning more about her. We learned a decent amount about Dialin and Banyue, just not enough for me to like really feel the impact of their characters. I did like them though. If it was presented better, I would have liked it more. I liked the ending with like the final fight between Shi Yuan and Shunguang. 2.5, I will put it up here in Super Boo because of how much lore we got. Like, we got so much lore with Lady Sunbringer. We got so much lore with the swords, the cursed swords, Qingming sword, right? We got, and I think it was a pretty good tie-in to like everything we've been to season 2. Less hype moments and aura, and more actual story. Like, more actual like things that we could bring into the future of what's going to happen in the future of Zenless Zone Zero. Yokai is now in the story. Yokai is very much a present being in the future. And Xingguang becoming a Void Hunter is also pretty important. The best part of the story, in my opinion, was either the Shi Yuan crash out was so good. Oh my goodness, I think that was my favorite part of the story. Like, the other part is like Yuri saved Xingguang from losing her senses. I think that was a pretty good part, but Shi Yuan's crash out on Lu Henzhou was so good. I absolutely loved that part of the story. They did well with Xingguang's character with how much time they had. They spent the entirety of last patch on the Precipice of the Abyss introducing Xingguang. In this patch, they spent learning about her. It was obviously a time crunch. Oh my, like this could have been solved if we just introduced Xingguang earlier into the story. We wouldn't have to have Dylan or Banyue's stories just gutted. We wouldn't have to spend so much of this story learning about her. With what they had, with how much time they had, I think they did pretty well. And Zhao was also another really good part of the story. I think my undisputed, undefeated champion. Oh my goodness, you know what? We're gonna go with recency bias here. I think we're gonna go with recency bias here and put this up here, because I think this one's my favorite so far, but it's like a tiny margin between these 4. Yeah, this is my stupid little tier list. Yeah, you could dog on it all you want, honestly. It is what it is. It's Zenless Zone Zero story, woo. But yeah, hopefully yours looks better than mine. It won't look better than mine. Mine's the best. Ha ha ha. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I'm done. Yeah. I'm done.